Morning. It's Tuesday, October 8th, 2024. I'm Larissa. My video diary. Time has come. Time has come to drink from skulls. Ugh. Here it is. Okay. Skulls. What's in my skull? What's in my skull tea, huh? Well, here's lemon balm and hibiscus and sweet basil and chamomile and what else? Might be some rose in there and some catnip and some cannabis. Yeah, a CBD dominant indica strain. Yep, that's what's in my tea. Yes, and it is to help my joints, help me with pain relief. Yeah. So yesterday the house got cleaned. Yes, it did. The house got cleaned yesterday. Oh my god. My baseboards, they're so clean. Oh my god. They didn't dust. I told them they didn't need to dust. No, I'll take care of that. That's fine. But they did my floors, they did my bathrooms, and they did my kitchen. Looks good. Brody's outside having a fit about something. I don't even know what. And you know what else? They also took the moth husk down off the wall over there. Yeah. And they cleared out my spiders. All my spider friends are gone. Oh. Well, you know, whatever. There'll be new spider friends. There will be. Just give it a week or so. Be some new spider friends. So, got laundry done yesterday, and I wrote 1.5 chapters. So I finished the chapter I was working on, and then I wrote another chapter. Oh. Yeah, so I decided that it was time to see the main character through another character's eyes, and also learn more about that other character as well. So I have the main character, and then I have the supporting character. And I was telling Omar yesterday, like, I've been feeling that I had a novel coming out of me sometime soon, right? Like, I felt it coming. Um, there's some painting coming up this year, too. Oh my God. I don't even know what it's going to be, but I feel it. There's going to be, oh, I got some painting coming out of me this year. But anyway, I've been feeling this novel coming. And I sat down a couple times and tried writing, and it just wasn't there yet. Just wasn't close enough to hear it. And that's the way it works with me with writing. It's like I gotta be close to it and hear it. And it's like it's out there, and it's like I'm traveling around, right? Or it's whipping around or whatever. And I just gotta be at the right place at the right time to hear it, right? It exists out there somewhere. I just gotta hear it. Um, so I'm not talking about hearing voices. No, that's not what I'm talking about. This is different. Um, anyway, I had thought that I was going to have another female main character, right? Um, the last novel I wrote, The Shifting Light, the main character was male. Then the novel before that was Songbird at Rest, and Songbird at Rest was a female main character. And before that was When It Becomes Too Much, and that was also a female main character. And I thought I was going to have another female main character, but no. Turns out main character's a male. So the big supporting character is a female. And so look, I got to meet her a little more in depth yesterday in writing, and and through her eyes got to see the main character. And that was interesting to me because um, he didn't look the way I was picturing him through his eyes, right? Which is, generally the case it is with people. You don't necessarily know how 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 you appear. Oh, what's that song? It's a lyric in a song. Oh, I can't think of what it is right now. Anyway, it'll come to me. I want to say it's a Clutch song that I'm thinking of right now, but I don't know. Quick Death in Texas? No. Anyway, so yeah, he appears very differently than he does to himself, and that's important. It's really important, and it's going to set the stage for things a little bit later in the novel. So it's important to see that. And this female character also is kind of revealing herself to be the truth teller in the whole story, right? Like she's the one who sees things the way that they actually are, and she's very marginalized. And I don't know. I mean, that makes sense in real life. That's like a very real life relatable kind of thing, situation, but it was also not what I was expecting. I was expecting to find her, like, from the outside looking at her through the main character's eyes. I was seeing her as um a little bit ridiculous, right? So, it's just interesting to me how even I am affected by the filter of the character, right? Because, I'm not a man, but when I'm looking through the main character's eyes and the main character's a man, it's like without even realizing it, there's a different perspective that I'm looking through that is very unlike my own. And when I was meeting this character yesterday in more depth and looking through her eyes as opposed to the male main character's eyes, um, I found her much more relatable, right? Yeah. I felt more comfortable in her skin, which I guess makes sense because I am a woman. Um, anyway, yeah, it's interesting. So I'm approaching what's probably going to be about the midway point of the book, um, the center of it. So this is the first third of the book is done, right? I'm reaching the middle, right? The middle section. So if this were a steak, this is the part that is the least cooked, right? Or I don't know, the middle of the bread, the spongiest part, right? Before I get closer to the crust end again, to the schmanka, if schmanka middle schmanka. Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's an interesting process. I got laundry done, and I made my broccoli cheese soup last night. It was good. It was. Made broccoli cheese soup, and then Omar had sardines with his, and I made myself a hard boiled egg to go with mine. Because there wasn't a complete protein in the soup. I mean, yeah, sure, there's some protein in dairy, but, nothing significant. Um, so made myself a hard boiled egg to go with it, and it was good. And toast tips for dipping. Toast tips, I just toasted some Dave's Killer Bread. Had toast tips and a pickle, some pickled peppers. Yeah. Peppers that I pickled. Hot peppers. Very hot Thai chilies that I pickled. Well, they weren't that hot because they weren't ripe. But and I saw that at the store when I bought them. I'm like, oh, these aren't going to be that hot, I can tell. They got to be a real deep green or red in order for them to be hot. And these were green, but they weren't a real deep green. So I was like, oh, they'll have a little kick, but they're not gonna be they're not gonna like be burning your butthole hot. Like sometimes those Thai chilies can be burning your butthole hot. So anyway, I got a whole bunch of them when they had them, and I pickled them, and so I had a couple of those garnished with the soup. I put mine in the soup, in my soup, broke them up, and then had a couple pickles. So there's soup left over, and I'm gonna be home a little bit later today than normal on Tuesday, so I'll just have to do soup. And I took sandwiches out of the freezer. Took the mushroom stuffed sandwiches out of the freezer, so a few of those. So there's 3 of them in there, so he can have one for lunch if he wants, and then have one for dinner with soup. So there's 2 jars of soup left, because that's how I package soup. When it's left over, I have my mason jars and my screw top lids that go on the mason jars. So there's two jars, 2 large wide mouth jars of broccoli cheddar soup, and that's like 2 bowls a piece. Right, 2 modest bowls a piece. So if he wants, he can have that for lunch, and then we'll finish it for dinner, or we'll have one for dinner today, one for dinner tomorrow, or something like some such thing, some such nonsense. Although I'd be happy if it was just done today. It's got milk in it, so I'd rather that soup be done today than have it in the fridge 3 days. If it's just a stock, if it's just like a clear stock or a tomato stock on a soup, 3 days. But with a cream soup, 2 days. Right? Yeah. Yeah. And I used to make that soup, that cheddar soup. Um, that last night was broccoli cheddar, but I used to make a tuna cheddar chowder, because it's basically a chowder. Just doesn't have any shellfish in it. It's like a potato chowder. Yeah, broccoli cheddar chowder. But I didn't put the tuna in it. Sometimes I would put tuna in it. Sometimes I put in little like bay shrimp. Sometimes I'd put in um, chopped up clams or whatever. Sometimes I'd put in chunks of fish, salmon. When I was still eating that stuff. So that's why he got sardines. He got a little can of sardines to go with his. Yeah. Yeah. So what else do I have down there to cook? I got a mess of tomatoes. So I was thinking about doing a fresh tomato pasta. I got tomatoes and a couple sweet bell peppers. I could do that. Do that. Or I also have Brussels sprouts down there. Um, so it was going to be a stewed Brussels sprouts, stewed Brussels sprouts with either like a white bean salad. I could do baked beans. I could do stewed Brussels sprouts and baked beans. That'd be good. That would be good. I could do those Brussels sprouts though also with noodles. I could saute them with some onions and then do those with noodles and eggs. That would be good. Almost like Halishka, but not quite. Yeah. I got black beans down there too. I could do black beans. I could do black beans and salad. I could do black bean soup, black bean corn soup with salad, and that would be good. And then I have um, pox of corn patties down there. I was gonna do like a faux Caesar salad, you know, everything but the anchovies. Make a nice creamy dressing. Do a nice salad with those, and like chicken a chickenless Caesarless salad, right? So these are things that. Oh, I have a small thing of green beans. I do green beans and carrots and a potato and tofu. That's a nice bake that I do. Put all those things together with some butter. Butter. Yeah. Yeah. Anyway. I love you for sentimental reasons. Yeah. Jazz. Jazz. But now that you turn the lights down low, I'm beginning to see the light. Used to ramble in the park, shadow boxing in the dark. Then you came and caused a spark that's a 4-alarm fire now. I never went in for afterglow or candlelight by the mistletoe. But now that you turn the lamp down low, I'm beginning to see the light. That's a good old one. That's an old one. Yeah. Yeah, the Sinead O'Connor album, Am I Not Your Girl? Very, very good. Very, very good. Rest in peace, Miss O'Connor. Oh my goodness, that poor woman. That poor woman, she was so abused. She really, really was. I mean, she got weird there towards, the end of her life, which was, short, right? I mean, she was what, in her 50s? She in her late 50s? Something like that. Anyway, yeah, no, that album, Am I Not Your Girl, with that cover, that black dress and those big shoes, her giant eyeballs. That was such a striking cover. That black and white photo was beautiful. That album was so good. So good. After one whole quart of brandy, like a daisy, I'll awake with my cup and saucer handy. I don't even shake. Love is not a new sensation. I've done pretty well, I think, since this half-pint imitations put me on the blink. I'm wild again, beguiled again, a simpering, whimpering child again. Bewitched, bothered, and bewildered am I. Lost my heart, but what of it? He is cold, I agree. He can laugh, but I love it, although the laugh's on me. I sing to him, each spring to him, and worship the trousers that cling to him. Bewitched, bothered, and bewildered am I. He's a fool, and don't I know it? But a fool can have his charms. I'm in love, and don't I show it? Like a babe in arms. Vexed again, perplexed again, and long for the day I can be over sexed again. Bewitched, bothered, and bewildered am I. Oh my God, that song has like a bazillion verses. And like if you listen to the whole song, she doesn't sing the whole song. She doesn't sing the whole song on that album. If you listen to other renditions, other versions, other recordings of it, older ones. So the song like goes in a cycle. It's like a whole cycle of like pining over a man and then getting over the man and being like fuck you to the man, right? Yeah. And I'm not talking about like the man in the government. I'm talking to like a fella in some trousers, with his trouser snake. Oh, speaking of which, I was watching some clips of some old dudes very seriously playing some music, having their jam session. And they're all dressed real sharp, they got their creased pants on and sweaters, cardigans and button-down shirts and like they're very, very serious. They look all serious. Anyway, and one dude playing a flute got a big old trouser snake. I'm like, whoa, look at you, buddy. Your ball's hanging low down your leg. I know you are wearing some boxer shorts or going commando. I can tell because that shit ain't tucked up. Oh, old dudes. He's all serious playing his instrument, not even knowing that his ball's hanging out. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness, Larissa. Poor guy. Somebody should tell him. His wife should be like, "Did you know in that video everybody could see your nuts? Press it up against your pant leg. Mm-mm. Do your balls hang low? Do they wobble to and fro? Can you tie 'em in a knot? Can you tie 'em in a bow? Can you throw 'em over your shoulder like a continental soldier? Do your balls hang low? Mm. Do they? Do they wobble to and fro? I don't know. Anyway. Mm. Yeah. Yeah. That album, Am I Not Your Girl? What else is on that? Once I had a secret love that burned within the heart of me. All at once my secret love became impatient to be free. So I told a friendly star, the way that dreamers often do, just how wonderful you are, and why I'm so in love with you. Now I shouted from the highest hill. I even told the golden daffodil. At last my heart's an open door, and my secret love's no secret anymore. Yeah, that's a good one. She does a really moving version on that album too. Yeah, she does. Oh yeah, and her cover of Scarlet Ribbons. Oh my God, it's gut wrenching, tear jerking. Rest in peace, Miss O'Connor. Rest in peace. Oh, music's yeah, my relationship with music. Like musicians are so manipulative and money grubbing, and particularly in the United States, it's like there is so much resentment and animosity towards the vocalist, particularly the female vocalist, right? And it's like, okay, all instruments, all instruments were created by humans to mimic some aspect of the human voice, right? Instruments were made for people who can't sing, but wanted to make music. Because not every singing voice is pleasant to listen to. No, it's not. And not everybody can carry a tune. I think anybody's capable of making a joyful noise, but a joyful noise and a noise that you want to hear are two different things, right? So it's like, so my instrument is me, is my voice. That's my instrument. And it's a pretty incredible instrument, it really is. And, I view it as a gift. It's not something that everybody has. But people who play things that aren't vocals, they're just, particularly in the United States, are so shitty. You know? Vocalists are not a dime a dozen. Are you talking to me? What? I know it's a big one. I didn't bring it in. I'm pretty sure it's the card display that I ordered. It needs to go to the gallery. I knew it wasn't going to rain. That's why I left it out there. Yeah. He's outside and found a box and thought it was something I didn't know about. Yeah, I know about it. I told him to put it there. Anyway. Yeah, so musicians, like, it was like that night, the night that when I had the band, Larissa and the Rosebud Rangers, and when we were playing together, and we played Aubergine After Dark, and we were the headliner that night, right? It was open mic, but we were the headliner. They did it that way, you know. They'd have somebody come in as a headliner that played later, whatever. Um, and 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 they came up to me out. I was standing. It was like after everybody had played, and it was just, you know, they just had DJ playing, and I was talking to all these people, and the woman that organized the event, Tawny, um, she comes up to me with this giant wad of cash, and it's like, here's your, because we got the door, we got 2/3 of the door, right? And I could see that this was a ton of money, right? There was a few $100 there. I mean, when I say a ton of money, that was a lot of money for open mic kind of thing. And because we had drawn a pretty big crowd. The place was standing room. So, you know, and I said to her, I said, please don't give that to me here. I said, please, yeah, because I was in front of all of these people, and a lot of the people that were coming, well, I didn't know these people, right? It's not like I was sitting talking to people I knew where I'm like, okay, I'm going to put that in my pocket. I didn't know who these people were, and she's handing me this wad of cash. I'm like, what the hell kind of idiot are you? Setting me up to get fucking mugged when I walk out to the car. So she leaves and she took the money, right? Well, the guys in the band, everybody was like, oh, whatever, except for Jason and Morgan. They were pissed, right? And I'm just like, okay, there were 5 of us, and I don't know how much money was in the wad, but let's say it was like $200. That's, what is that? Is that $40 a piece? Is $40 making or breaking you when you're living with your mommy and daddy? Right? Because both of them were. Right? Is $40 making or breaking you when you're living with your mommy and daddy? And Tawny was living by herself and was a single mom. And so, like, I didn't want to, like, go after her. But finally, next time I saw her, she gave me like $40. She's like, here's your cut of the door. I'm like, that's my cut of the door? She's like, yeah. I'm like, there was a lot more money there than $40 because I could see it wasn't just ones that were in that roll. It was 5s and 10s. And 5s, 10s, and 20s is what I saw on the roll. It was a lot of them. So it might have even been more than $400, but whatever. I had no way of knowing how much it was the bottom line, right? And I didn't want to put myself in the position of having a wad of cash in front of people who are living hand to mouth, a lot of them out of their cars. Because a lot of the musicians were, right? In that circuit. Nobody in my band was. So anyway, they got all shitty. And so finally, I'm like, here, I gave it all. This was the whole thing. This is the whole thing I got. You can have it. And it was, like when I opened for Richard Thompson and Jemima Puddle Duck and Julian Dawson, and I was supposed to get paid $350. I got paid. Was it $175, $150? I got paid half of what I was supposed to be paid. And then I had to pay Morgan, and I had promised him 150, so I got nothing for that fucking show. Like, I got screwed over so many times. And then there were so many times that I just performed for free, showed up for shit for free. There were all these like events and things where it's like they were like, "Oh, Larissa's gonna be there," and I didn't get paid for any of that shit. I didn't get paid for any of that shit. And then these money grubbing fucking assholes come up to me, and they're like, "Oh, one song you gotta pay me $300." I'm like, "Fuck you, fuck you." Just because you can pluck some strings. I hate musicians. I really, really do. They're so manipulative. And then they're like, "Oh, I don't want to play that." It's like when I was playing with the guys, and they're like, "Oh, I don't want to play that song." I'm like, "Well, that's the song I can sing, and I'm the singer, so like, find if you want to play different music, you need to find a different band. This is whatever." Oh. And I would sing. I can sing just about anything. There were just some things that I wouldn't sing, like if I didn't like the message of the song, but it didn't have anything to do with genre. Like, I can sing cross genre. Not everybody can. I mean, geez, no, Beyonce cannot do country music. No, she can't. Sorry, sorry, not sorry, bitch. Stick to what you know, what you can do, which is R&B, and that's like it. She's not a rock singer. She's not a country singer. And even Etta James said she ain't no jazz singer. Geez, Etta James hated her. I watched that, right? I watched that interaction. Etta James was disgusted by her. Miss James. Rest in peace. Rest in peace, Mama. Yeah. At last, my love has come along. My lonely days are over. And life is like a song. Oh, yeah. At last, the skies above are blue. My heart was wrapped up in clover the night I looked at you. Anyway. No, it's just, music's so hard for me now. Because I really, really have zero respect for musicians. Treat vocalists, singers like me, like we're a dime a dozen when we're not. You want a dime a dozen singer, you're going to get one, and nobody wants to hear that bitch screech, but she'll probably suck your dick for you. Right? And that's what it comes down to. Yeah. Anyway.